It is currently 11:34 a.m. The entity is keeping a fake sun that is the light source where I'm subject to the pattern of conduct on this day in 2022 at the Paul Bryan Library in Victoria Gardens in Rancho Cucamonga, California. The entity is keeping a fake sun over me while I'm at the Vaughn's grocery store. As I documented, LAPD flying over my head and the people of the state group stalking by parking next to me in the parking lot, the facilitating venue where the fake sun is directly over my head, and the entity is engaging in terrorism pursuant to criminal activity on the venue of the internet, just like sanitized pros and the people of the state, including those that are group stalking relevant position that live at the property. The entity is maintaining the light source over my apartment now that I'm inside of my apartment. This is the same apartment where you saw the sun through the living room window. Again, that's not the sun that would be from 8 o'clock, 9, 10, 11. It's 3 hours. The entity is going from my leasing office at the same property over me to what is my apartment, and it's directly over the top of my head, which I captured in a picture, but I'm gonna go ahead and get video because this is where the entire entity is engaging in a sex offense. So while I'm physically indisposed in the bathroom, the entity that is a sex offender, that is also a psychopath. Psychopaths engage in more of conduct that they perceive is threatening or offending. A psychopath and a sex offender, by definition, will engage in sexual violence, and a psychopath will engage in more of it, especially as you expose it. This is the public safety concern regarding a demon-possessed population that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. So I want to point this out because the entity is engaging, again, while I am engaged and physically indisposed in my restroom. That's a matter of public information, and you know that because of the specific environment. So I'm going to show that specific environment, and then all of the people of the state. This is a property full of demon-possessed terrorists, group stalkers engaging in surveillance, and they are inherently and actually documented sex offenders, very violent ones and very demented ones, while they engage in the demonic pattern of conduct, while they wait for my panties to be down to engage in it. And so I want to make sure I document again, because every aspect of the sexual offense that the entity is engaging in, with demons that are stalking me in a helicopter, doing it as an agent of the state, and they together engage in sexual violence as a population. And this is what an entity is doing to a targeted individual together, and they also know that it's being documented. So I just want to be clear, the mind state is what you're prosecuting. A sex offender first. Secondly, a sex offender that engages in more as you enforce your rights. Thirdly, a sex offender that is acting with the specific purpose to increase that level of, it's also violence against you, which is threatening your life, but it's also sexually motivated. That's that predatory aspect. And the entity increases that aggression and that sexual terrorizing hostility, which is demon possession at work amongst the population. So be informed, okay? This is the outworking of demon possession, a public safety concern. You need to understand people that are unfit to be in law enforcement, unfit to be in the medical profession, and they are smiling in your face every day, being looked at as heroes. You're not a hero. You're not some honorable person based on what you're doing in the engineered light under a fake sun where nobody knows the reality of what you're doing in secret, in engineered light under a fake sun with a government that's engaging in surveillance using helicopters. You're not actually a hero. You're a threat to the public. And you're a violent sex offender, as I'm continuously exposing the secrets. So that's prefacing the light source that's over my head. And there are 6 sex offenders inside of all their apartments, monitoring, waiting until my genitalia is exposed, waiting until I'm in a compromising position like that. And that's sick in and of itself. That's a reality, and you know that intent because of the unnatural environment that's here. There's intent behind keeping a fake sun over my location, distinct from here in Rancho Cucamonga at the Paul Bryan Library. It's distinct with regard to intent where the entity is following in helicopters, which is a long documented pattern of conduct. It is distinct with regard to occurrences that are happening outside of what nature dictates. Okay, and so you're doing that pursuant to what is also a knowledge regarding what it is that's being documented about you. And as I'm documenting a whole population. Every single third party population is going to be prosecuted for the ongoing pattern of conduct that it is engaging in as an entity. Group stalking in the laundry room is criminal activity with impunity and malice. It's going to be attributed to the people of the state at 1826 Lobdell Place. And I'm only naming that because I know that demon's address. I don't need to know them, though. They're all going to be prosecuted together. This is the specific environment that they are surrounding me in. All right, where the light source is remaining directly over the top of my head. So all right? And it's not outside or over the leasing office. It remains over me where I go as I stay at the same property where it's outside of my bedroom window in the same apartment after 7 p.m. This whole population is engaging in a massive sex offense, which is, again, the nature of federal group stalking and monitoring. It's terrorism and it's sexual violence, while the population is way too concerned, which is predatory and sexually perverted, while they're keeping you under surveillance, and then a sex offender that's mad because you're enforcing your rights to not be subject to that stalking and sexual violence. That's very, very demented. This is the threat to Americans in this country. This is a threat to your safety and privacy right now, while I'm exposing what the entity is doing to me. All right, and demons are stalking in helicopters right now while I am exposing that. It is currently 11:39 a.m. There's no sun in Rancho Cucamonga, and that's what Speaker Companies is going to be prosecuted for while they are facilitating federal group stalking and monitoring, and while the whole population is acting to its own demise, continuously engaging in that which it's going to be prosecuted for as the whole entity, as well as the group of demons that they are. Okay, so it is currently, again, 11:39 a.m. This is P.O.C.